Joe Dan's old enough.
Me either.
None of us are old enough. Anyway, this is March the 17th, it's St. Patty's Day, for those of you who are interested in that, and you best wear that while he's filming you so that everyone can know
He already pinched me.
what a great Irishman you are.
Yeah.
Most people don't know
What's
that
going
he's an
on?
Irishman, but
Hang on.
now they'll know. I
Got
am
it.
not ashamed that I am not an Irishman.
What are you?
I'm a Jew.
Oh.
What are you?
So there.
Serb?
A Russian Jew. A Russian Jew.
Serbian?
No, a Ukrainian actually. Now Ukrainian. Back then it was just mother Russian. All right, announcements. Those of you who missed Joe Crookson missed a good concert. There weren't too many people there, so they all got to sit up front. It was real nice. John Smith is coming in on the 31st. He's been here many times.
Who?
John Smith.
Oh, Smith.
John Smith, all one word.
I know. We had him at Tennant Chapel before I ever had him here.
At the monastery house concerts, he's been at
When is that?
Crossroads. 31st, which is a Friday night. On Saturday, April Fool's Day, we're going to have our Story Night fundraiser, auction, and dinner for the Center for the Arts over at the Civic Center at the park. Tickets are $35, includes the dinner. There'll be music there of some type, kind of mood, kind of relaxing.
Doc Davis, Peckerwood Junction
No,
Band.
it's not that. They spend a lot of money at the auction music. Okay? There's a different kind of music than Peckerwood music. Totally different stuff. So anyway, that's going on the first. I have tickets for sale here. They're 35. As I said, they're 35, and I still have about 30 tickets left. So when they're gone, they're gone. And Brenda wants to know whether you want to go or not, whether you need a ticket.
Well, I'm just thinking, I asked Peggy if she wanted to go, and usually she says just no, but this time she's undecided. I need to call her before I leave.
Okay, before you leave, we'll do that.
And see if she's made up her mind.
April 21st, Brooks Williams is coming in. He's been here before, too. And a gal named Monica Rizzio is coming in on May 13th. And just a few days after that, let's see, 6 days later, Peter Orr will be here. We're still looking for sponsors for Peter. We need a couple more sponsors for Peter. If you got $500 you're not using and want to sponsor Peter Orr, and you'll get your name in lights. Well, not lights, but you'll get your name in the program as being one of the people who helped bring Peter here. That's on May 19th. June 10th, Hannah Kirby will be here, and she's a local out of Silver Spring. She's been here before.
Are those all musicians? Are those all musicians?
Yeah, singer-songwriters.
Okay.
Yeah. Ronnie Cox and his band will be here on July 8th. If you don't know Ronnie Cox, he's an actor.
The one in Deliverance?
He was in Deliverance.
Storyteller.
He was in Deliverance. He's a wonderful guitar player and a great songwriter. Just don't talk politics with him unless you're super, ultra duper, super duper liberal. Extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're what?
If you're an extreme liberal, you can talk politics with Ronnie. Otherwise, don't mention any politics.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were.
Yeah, right.
I haven't met any other kind.
Demeaning,
Don't mention that you like the president or anything else. Or that you didn't like Obama because he'll kill you if you do.
Oh, man.
The 29th of July,
Yeah. Right.
29th of July, our very own misdemeanor and the group Felons will be performing at the Center for the Arts. And then in September, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Bluegrass Band will be here. And I've not heard them. They're new to Winnsboro.
Bluegrass.
In October, we got Terry Hendricks and Lloyd Mays. They've been here many times. And then Adler and Hearn, who are going to be performing in honor of my birthday, which is 2 days after their performance. So you must come to that. It'll be like a birthday party for me. Okay. So that's what's coming up on that.
The answer to your question, yes, I'm coming. The question I don't have the answer to is whether Peggy's coming or not.
Monday night, the first Monday night live, right here on Market Street. There'll be live music. And I can't remember the gal's name. It's going to be, I can look it up. It's right here on this card here. No, it's not. It's not on the card. But anyway, 5 to 8, or whenever it gets too dark to see what they're doing, or heard of the telemarketer?
No.
Winnsboro Emporium. Man of the house there, I get a call from him once every day now. It's not a house, and I'm an old man. If they answer the old man of the house, I would answer the phone. So
This is Detective Schiller and
the
we're
restaurants
investigating
will be out doing beer and wine and food, and Rooster's going to be open. Normally it's not open Monday.
Well, when is that you're talking about?
Monday night, 2 days after today, this coming Monday.
And what's the occasion?
It's Monday Night Live. We
Oh.
do that every month,
Yeah.
March through the end of.
And who is the
November.
music this time featured?
If you must know, I will tell you. I have a list here.
Doc, you can read a poem while he's gone.
Harsh.
Watch out, be careful, I saw that. A gal named Janet
Give me
Robin.
trouble.
I have no idea who she is, where she's from, but she'll be here.
How do you spell that last name?
Robin as in the bird, R-O-B-I-N. The circus will be here on the 23rd, so that's this next week. That's a Monday, Wednesday. That's
I'm going.
you're going Thursday, I think. That's at the Civic Center ground.
When is it? Thursday?
Yeah, the 23rd. Remember that. Farmers Market starts again on April Fool's Day. So be a fool and come to the market.
All right. Put my jester suit on.
Yeah, do that.
Hey, that's what April Fool's all about.
That's what it's all about.
The Festival of Fools. Where it comes from.
And then it says the Boy Scouts are going to have their pancake breakfast, $5 per plate on Market Street. Now, I don't know where on Market Street they're going to have their breakfast because nobody, they've been doing it at Church
Is
of
it going to
Christ.
be transgender boys that serve the pancakes? Or?
No, that's, could be, could be.
As soon as they
Gonna
find
be
some.
hermaphrodite boys.
Anyway, so that's all of the announcements I'm going to do today. I can go and talk about what's on the schedule there all day and all night.
Why don't you read your latest poem?
My latest poem. My latest poem. I had to go look it up because my latest poem is the last poem I did, which was a couple of years ago. Wrote a book here for Doc. He said he don't want it. I'm not going to read from it because it'd be very out of character for me to read this.
What's the name of it?
It's called War Songs and Poems of the Southern Confederacy. From 1861 to 1865.
I might be interested.
By an ex-Confederate.
I might be looking at it. I might be interested.
It's very expensive. It's $6 for you. $12 for Doc. But
I'll look at it after
it's $6.
we get done here.
That's discrimination.
Got a lot of poems that the guy did a lot of research on this because there's a lot of songs.
Who is the author of it?
The author,
Editor or whatever.
a guy named H.M. Wharton, W-H-A-R-T-O-N, and he was a theologian, a doctor of divinity. He was a private in General Lee's army, which stayed a private the whole war,
I see.
apparently. He was so good at his job that he
Yeah, he
stayed
was
a private.
he was
Smart enough to
indispensable.
stay a private.
Yeah.
You don't want to get into advanced rank when you're in when you're in that kind of.
My stripes were put on with Velcro.
Right, they can take them off. You get busted that often?
I did.
All right, we'll put this aside. It'd be out of character for me to read it since I'm a Yankee.
Oh, come on now.
I'm a Yankee from way back.
Unreconstructed Yankee.
Yes, and, never deconstructed. It was never deconstructed. I have never read any of these. This is by some guy named Robert Louis Stevenson. You may have heard
Oh,
of him.
yeah.
And I've not read any of these. And this is
What is the name of the
called A
book?
Child's Garden of Verses. And they're
Yes.
poems for kids.
Wow.
Awesome.
And since I was never a kid, I thought it'd be or I'm still a kid. You can look at that either way. I've never become an unkid. Or I'm could say I'm just kidding, but that would be too much. Too much. And so I am going to read some of these. Let's see. There's, boy, there are a lot of them in here, but they're very short. I'll read the first 27 of them. I'll read a few of them. I'll read a few of them. They were extreme, like most of them are very short. This is called Bed in Summer. Some of you may have read this when you were young. As I say, I'm still trying to grow up. So for me, these are all new. Okay. Bed in Summer by RLS. In winter, I get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. In summer, quite the other way, I have to go to bed by day. I have to go to bed and see the birds still hopping on the tree, or hear the grown-up people's feet still going past me in the street. And does it not seem hard to you, when all the day is clear and blue, that I should like so much to play, to have to go to bed by day? A thought.
I thought.
It means something different to me. Still different too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is very nice to think the world is full of meat and drink. It's for a kid. With little children saying grace in every Christian kind of place. Like I say, these are short poems. At the seaside. When I was down beside the sea, a wooden spade they gave to me to dig the sandy shore. My holes were empty like a cup. In every hole the sea came up, till it could come no more. I got paid a lot of money to write this stuff, so you should appreciate it. The whole duty of children. A child should always say what's true, and speak when he is spoken to, and behave mannerly at the table, at least as far as he is able.
Oh, there's a loophole.
Yeah.
This is called Rain. Bet you can't guess what it's about. The rain is raining all around. It falls on field and tree. It rains on the umbrellas here and on the ships at sea. Hate to make you think so much, and this is. All right, this is-
Character development.
Yeah. Really.
This is a pirate story, so get your orbs ready. And your parrots, your peg legs. 3 of us afloat in the meadow by the swing, 3 of us aboard in the basket on the lee. Winds are in the air, they are blowing in the spring, and waves are on the meadow like the waves there are at sea. Where shall we adventure today that will float, wary of the weather and steering by a star? Shall it be to Africa, a steering of the boat to Providence or Babylon, or off to Malabar? Hi, but here's a squadron a-rowing on the sea, cattle on the meadow a-charging with a roar. Quick, and we'll escape them. They're as mad as they can be. The wicket is the harbor, and the garden is the shore. Okay. Always a long one. I don't know if we can handle this one. This is travel. I should like to rise and go where the golden apples grow, where below another sky parrot islands anchored lie, and watched as cockatoos and goats, lonely Crusoes building boats, where in sunshine reaching out, eastern cities miles about, are with mosque and minaret among sandy gardens set, and the rich goods from near and far hang for sale in the bazaar, where the great wall round China goes, and on one side the desert blows, and with bell and voice and drum cities on the other hum, where are forests hot as fire, wide as England, tall as a spire, full of apes and cocoa nuts, and the Negro hunters' huts, where the knotty crocodile lies and blinks in the Nile, and where red flamingo flies, hunting fish before his eyes, where in jungles far, near and far, man-devouring tigers are, lying close and giving ear, lest the hunt be drawing near, or a comer-by be seen, swinging in a palanquin, where among the desert sands some deserted city stands, all its children, sweet and prince, grown to manhood ages since. Not a foot in street or house, not a stir of child or mouse. And when kindly falls at night, in all the town no spark of light. There I'll come when I'm a man, with a camel caravan. Light a fire in the gloom of some dusty dining room. See the pictures on the walls, heroes, fights, and festivals. And in the corner find the toys of the old Egyptian boys. Well, I'll read one more, and then I will give up this hallowed ground for somebody else. Let's see. Oh, this one will fit. Fit right in with the crowd here. This is good and bad children. We can all relate to one or the other of these, probably more the other than the one. Children, you are very little, and your bones are very brittle. If you would grow great and stately, you must try to walk sedately. You must still be bright and quiet, and content with simple diet, and remain, through all bewildering, innocent and honest children. Happy hearts and happy faces, happy play in grassy places. That is how in ancient ages children grew to kings and sages. But the unkind and the unruly, and the sort who eat unduly, they must never hope for glory. Theirs is quite a different story. Cruel children, crying babies, all grew up as geese and gabies, hated as their age increases by their nephews and their nieces. So there's a little bit of RLS, as we used to call him. But most people call him Robert Louis Stevenson.
He wrote Treasure Island too.
Among other things.
Among others. I didn't know he wrote poetry.
He wrote
That's
poetry.
really cool.
Yeah. It's always neat when
You ever read Treasure
you
Island?
know, the
Treasure Island?
Oh, go ahead and read yours.
one,
Have you?
I've read it, yeah,
Okay.
back in the day.
1 month at the beginning of last year, I ran across
Yeah.
a poems by Herman Melville.
Oh, yeah.
Who wrote Moby Dick.
Yeah.
And there were poems of the Civil War. I read one of them here. It was very, very depressing. Because it goes into this blood and gore stuff here, and very descriptive. And very dark. You know, war is hell. And when he finished reading Melville, you knew all
Of
about that.
course.
So I only didn't read much of that.
Yeah.
Still have that here in case you're interested.
All right. I'm
So
going,
who's
Doc.
next?
You going? You want to go? Me?
Nasty? You'll have to read it.
No, I'm not. No, it's not nasty. No.
Okay, I gotta be.
I censored myself for
I
you,
was
Conrad.
I was told to be aware of you with your.
That's right. You do need to be aware of me. All right. This is a very short one. It's called "It's Your Choice." It's one of my newest ones. It's your choice. It's your choice. Choose whichever you must. Don't let others choose for you. It's your choice. Choose wisely and make it worth your while. Be a sheep, following herd and flock, adhering shepherds' wisdoms, worshiping them as gods, devoting every minute of your life living for them, never thinking for yourself, always aiming to please the shepherds, or choose to be a lone wolf and not joining a pack, adhering to your mind's thoughts, knowledge and wisdom, always thinking for yourself, always traveling alone, surviving and living alone, living your life for you alone. Whichever you choose, may it be correct for you. That's a small one.
Oh yeah, good.
So it's good and clean.
Yeah. Acceptable. You
Yeah,
get a check mark.
yeah. I got a E for effort, huh? All right, this one's called "Jest If You Must," because we all turn into rust. Jest if you must, because we all turn into rust. Jest if you must, because we all turn into dust. Just if you must, because we all give in to lust. Just if you must, because we can't all be like the rest. Just if you must, because we all need someone or something we can trust. Just if you must, because we all know life's a joking matter with Faust. Just if you must, because we are all gods in our universe's mindset nests. Just if you must, because we all need something or someone to lie us down to rest when entropy consumes our last breath. Just if you must, because we are all animals with cognitive intuition which separates us from other pests. Just if you must, because we can't all live our lives for others without having any gusto. Just if you must, because we all need something, someone to die, live for, live with, bring to, censor. Just if you must, because we all know life is not a test. Just if you must, because we all know that we are here to make our own destinies and not adhere to majority's misleading mistrusts. Just if you must, because it's a great way to express oneself in a joking manner, where even the offended love your ideas and won't distrust you. Just if you must, because we all have to find solace in solitude and in our quest. Just if you must, because making something meaningful into a joke helps one cope with his injustices. Just if you must, because we all know that laughter is one of the best medicines we can all trust to make us feel better. Just if you must, because we are all made up of the same matter, mass, and microorganisms that helps us survive in everything they do to prevent our rusty oxidation. Just if you must, because no one truly knows anything about anything or everything about everything. All we know is what we've heard, read, been fed, been told, felt, held, smelt, seen, and touched with our eyes, ears, nose, hands, toes, mouths, hearts, minds, and souls. Just if you must, because we must keep ourselves preoccupied in order to distract us from entropy's lustrous demise. Just if you must, because we are stuck in this reincarnated hells or heavens that we call life and can't ever roost about it. Just if you must, because we should all be able to make fun of our fickle, flaming flaws and fix them if we believe in doing and trust in ourselves to do so. Just if you must, just know that everyone needs some kind of entertainment to calm down and keep them sane in today's societies. Otherwise, your innards will rip and burst apart. Just if you must, just know that not everyone will appreciate, comprehend, or love it, but just it up anyways, because you are living your life for you and not by others' constructs. Just if you must, to get great rest. Just if you must, at all times, or only at preferred times, or even not at all. Just if you must, if you want to have a blast before you give into lust, censor, being picked up and carried off by a strong gust, turning into rust or dust. Just remember, jesters jested jovially about everything and anything they wanted to. That's in peace. I got one more. Alright, this one's called Jester's Jest. It's not very long. Jester's Jest. Jester's jest about parasitical political pest, about best bird's nest, about saviors being executed and laid to rest, about mankind's made up life's test, about life's misunderstood jest, about innocent peoples being forced west, about fine lines between censor and censor as an art instead of traditionalist obscenities, about life's rarest, barest, and briefest unknown mysteries, about irrational, illogical, and unreasonable mythologies, philosophies, religions, folktales, and fairy tales of darnest mystics' wisdom, cheesiest and coziest of their truths and untruths, about falsehoods and multitude, believers of these absurdist ideas, about all isms and archies, of everything and anythings, most pleasantest and devout disciples, about being born, dying, and being reborn, while still being alive, and passed these timely tests, and lived out the rest of their lives, about ancient, contemporary, and modern civilizations, airiest cultures, about most and least, acutest and extremist pleasures that come from drugs, sex, writing, reading, arguing, urinating, defecating, singing, chanting, practicing hedonism, debauchery, gluttony, and overindulgence. Jesters jest about anything and everything that they find most funniest. Jesters jest in order to laugh away life, its mishaps, its misunderstandings, its overanalyzed meanings, its conceptual ideas of love, lust, grandeur, emotionally riding derailed roller coasters in order to adapt to life situations, its absurdism, and its absolutism. Weirdest primitive thoughts. Jesters jest, because life is nothing more than a joke to them. That's the end.
Yes.
Thank you. Good time.
Okay, musical chairs here.
Musical chairs.
So you've done a little rewriting on that third one, haven't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
You captured the essence of comedy pretty concisely.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've done some rewriting of it. Go ahead.
It's been a busy couple of weeks and all that. Of course, I've become, like I said, a citizen of the city of Winnsboro again, so I have voting rights and all that good stuff.
Taxes.
Could be dangerous.
You can legally complain now.
Legally complain.
Couldn't do
right?
it before.
Even though they told me one time I was a resident of the city when I wasn't. But anyway, we're going to read about it.
What do they know?
101 poems,
All right.
famous poems. Okay.
I've got several books that make that claim.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
All right.
It's a very common name for poetry books.
One's very appropriate. It's called Be Strong. It's by Maltry Baskosh.
Sounds easy for you to say.
She was my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Okay? It says, be strong. We are not here to play, to dream, to drift. We have hard work to do and loads to lift. Shun not the struggle. Face it, 'tis God's gift. Be strong. Say not, the days are evil. Who's to blame? And fold the hands, and whatever that word is, oh shame. Stand up, speak out, and bravely in God's name. Be strong. It matters not how deep entrenched the wrong, how hard the battle goes, the day how long. Faint not, fight on. Tomorrow comes a song. We don't have a song about that.
Oh, that would be good.
Pretty good. I like that.
This one, being I moved into a new apartment, I haven't found one yet, but it's called The Spider and the Fly.
Oh,
I'm sure I'm
yes.
going to find
I love
both
this
before
one.
they...
You'll find
Yeah, the
I'm
spider
good.
and the fly.
the spiders.
Yeah.
Wish I had a fly, but
No, this is a fable.
if you want
It
a
is a
fly,
fable, yeah.
want a fly, go to
It's a
Burbank.
very old fable, too.
Mary Howitt?
Who?
Mary Howitt, your cousin? I think
My
she's a Jewish.
cousin, third time removed.
Okay.
27 times removed, my cousin.
Will you walk into my parlor?
Said the spider to the fly.
Said the spider to the fly. Hey, you know that.
I wrote this many years ago.
To the prettiest little parlor that you ever did spy. The way into my parlor is up the winding stair. I've never read this poem. And I have many pretty things to show when you are there.
Etchings.
Yes.
Oh, no, said the little fly. To ask me in vain. For who goes up the winding stair can never come down again. I'm preaching to the choir. Ain't
Yeah.
I? I'm sure I've never heard this poem before.
You read it?
I'm sure you must be worried, dear, with soaring up so high. Will you rest upon my little bed? Said the spider to the fly.
Here it comes.
There are pretty curtains drawn all around. The sheets are fine and thin. I like mine. And if you like to rest a while, I'll snugly tuck you in. Oh no, said the little fly. For I've often heard it said, they never, never wake again who sleep upon your bed. I like this story.
That's
I
good.
think I'll make a song about it.
You should.
Said the cunning spider to the fly, dear friend, what shall I do? To prove the warm affection I've always felt for you. That's a good line. I have within my pantry
For
good
real.
store of all that's nice.
Use that for a pickup later.
Yeah, I'm sure you're very welcome. Will you please take a slice? Oh, no, said the little fly. Kind sir, that cannot be. I've heard what's in your pantry, and I will not wish to see. Now, I think this is coming in over here. Sweet creature, said the spider, you witty and you're wise. How handsome are your gaudy wings, how brilliant are your eyes. I have a little looking glass upon my parlor shelf. Ooh, I know about that one. If you'll step into one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself. I thank you, gentle sir, she said, for what you pleased to say, and bidding you good morning, sir. Now, I call it another day. The spider turned him around and went into his den. For well he knew the silly fly would soon be back again. So he wove a subtle web in a little corner sly, and set his table ready to dine upon the fly. Then he came out to his door again, and merrily did sing, come hither, hither, pretty fly, with the pearl and silver wings. Your robe are green and purple, and there's a crest upon your head. Your eyes are like diamond bright, and mine are dull and lead. I forgot to put my glasses on.
No wonder you're having trouble reading that.
Yeah, I'll put my glasses on.
Put your reading glasses on.
Yeah, oh man, it's as clear as a bell. Alas, alas, how very soon the silly little fly, hearing his witty flattering words, came slowly flitting by. With buzzing wings she hung aloft, then nearer and nearer drew, thinking only of her crested head. Poor foolish thing, at last. Up jumped the cunning spider and fiercely held her fast. He dragged her up to his winding stair and into his dismal den, within his little parlor, but she'd never come out again. And now, dear little children, who may this story read? To idle, silly, flattering words, I pray you never give heed. Upon an evil counselor, close heart and ear and eye, and take a lesson from the tale of the spider and the fly.
Actually,
Yeah.
Cindy Hearn wrote a song about, and Hal Greenwood wrote a song about the spider and the fly.
Oh,
Won an award at a children's thing.
That beats you to it.
Oh, it says it's recording. It's recording. Wanna be
I'm
recorded? I can record
employed,
you.
and
Get
I, as Doc said a while ago, I've been in Dallas today. I went
Wow.
there by Amtrak, and I returned the same way.
Very good.
This was for a lunch with a friend of my granddaughter's in New Zealand. This was a New Zealand lady who's a friend of my granddaughter who also lives in New Zealand. She's here to present at a conference, and I was invited to come over, and she wanted to meet Sonny's grandfather, and so I went over there and had lunch with her, and we had a nice visit. Last month, I had planned, I had on my cowboy hat and everything, and walked off and left this book. I'm going to read one poem from this, and and one I think, if it's still on my phone, I'm going to read that. This one is from a book. I have a few. This is an old book of cowboy poetry. I think it's dated, published, copyright 1937. And then this is one. I have another one that I bought from a cowboy poet at a meeting I went to in Lubbock a few years ago, in the 80s, I think. And I was going to read an old one and a new one. I'm gonna read this old one, Cowboy Songs. Doc and I both do cowboy songs when we perform out at Tennis Chapel and other places, but the title of this cowboy poem is Cowboy Song. And, you know, a real cowboy wrote it sometime in the 30s, published it in 37.
What was the title of the book, Jodan?
Title of the book is Spur Jingles, and the poet is Frank Mackey, M-A-C-K-I-E.
Okay.
Cowboy Songs. There's many a roundup I have made, the memories of each never will fade. There's many a man who used to ride with me who has crossed the great divide. Them waddies of mine sang Adeline when full of whiskey or full of wine. But I never heard on the range, I swear, them cowboy ditties sang on the air. If a waddy could sing the last roundup, I'd think that burned ornery pup that filled himself with too much loco weed. I'm sure them critters would then stampede. If they heard some flour mill cowboys sing the stuff that they sing on the public spring, when the fire is lit and the work is through, this fact I'm really foretell to you. Them boys is tired. They had a day. They eat and smoke, and then they hit the hay. There's many a roundup I've made, the memories of each never will fade. There's many a man who used to ride with me who's crossed the great divide. I'm old and tough, but it won't be long for with other angels I'll join in song. But them cowboy songs that I sing down here will only be sung when I'm full of beer. That's it.
Wow.
Now, I have, if it's still here, on the way back from Dallas, I'm currently reading a book on my Kindle that's title of it is The Grammar of God. And it's written by a lady who grew up in a very strict, observant Jewish household in a town called Muncie, New York. Might have been relatively close. I don't know where that is in New York. Might have been close to where Conrad.
3 blocks over from Conrad.
But it's a town that at the time she was growing up had a lot of Jewish people in it, and they weren't all just, you know, normal Jews. A lot of them were famous Jews who'd made a lot of fame in terms of maybe being a rabbi or had something to do with some kind of commentary. And she grew up in a house where they studied the Bible over the dining table. The Bible being the Hebrew Bible. In other words, what we call the Old Testament. Nothing about the New Testament. And this is a fascinating book because she tells in it how the grammar of the Hebrew Bible differs from the Protestant Bible, from the Old Testament in the Protestant Bible. And some of it makes the text quite different. I won't go into any detail on that, but it's fascinating. And if you're, I only have it on Kindle, so it is available in print, but I don't have a copy of that. I'm only about somewhere over half through with it, right? But I'm saying I'm just really fascinated with this book. And when coming back, I was reading a chapter that's called, the title of the chapter was Song, and to her, song was the Psalms in the Old Testament or the Hebrew Bible, and she referenced in this chapter a poem that I had never heard of by W.B. Yeats. Is that the proper pronunciation of his name?
Yeats,
W.B. Yeats.
Yep.
And had written a poem called Dialogue Between the Self and the Soul. And she talks about that in Psalm 42, in which she does a lot of commentary in this book, The Grammar of God, being the title of the book. In this particular chapter, she talks a whole lot about Psalm 42. And among the things she references is this poem by W.B. Yeats, A Dialogue of Self and Soul by William Butler Yeats. My soul, I summon to the winding ancient stair. Set all your mind upon the steep ascent, upon the broken, crumbling battlement, upon the breastless, starlit air, upon the star that marks the hidden pole, for every wandering thought upon that quarter where all thought is done. Who can distinguish darkness from the soul? Myself. The consecrated blade upon my knees is Sato's ancient blade, still as it was, still razor king, like a looking glass, unspotted by the centuries, that flowering silken old embroidery torn from some court lady's dress, and round the wooded scabbard bound and wound. Can tattered still protect, faded adorn? My soul. Why should the imagination of a man long past his prime remember things that are emblematic of love and war? Think of ancestral night that can, if but imagination, scorn the earth, and intellect is wandering to this and that and other thing. Deliver from the crime of death and birth. Myself. Third of his family fashioned it, 500 years ago. About it lie flowers from I know not what embroidery, hearts purple, and all these I set for emblems of the day against the tower, emblematic of the night, and claim as by a soldier's right a charter to commit the crime once more. My soul. Such fullness in that quarter overflows, falls into the basin of the mind, that man is stricken deaf and dumb and blind, for intellect no longer knows, is from the ought or knower from the known, that is to say, ascends to heaven, only the dead can be forgiven. But when I think of that my tongue's a stone, myself, a living man is blind and drinks his drop. What matter if the ditches are impure? What matter if I live it all once more? Endure that toil of growing up, the ignominy of boyhood, the distress of boyhood, changing into man, the unfinished man, his pain, brought face to face with his own clumsiness. The finished man among his enemies, how is the name of heaven can be escaped? That defiling and disfigured shape, the mirror of malicious eyes, cast upon his eyes, until at last he thinks that shape must be his shape. And what's the good of an escape if honor find him in the wintry blast? I am content to live it all again, and yet again, if it be life to pitch into the frog spawn of a blind man's ditch, a blind man, battering blind men, or into the most fecund ditch of all, the folly that man does or must suffer if he woos a proud woman, not kindred of his soul. I am content to follow by its source every event in action or in thought, measure the lot, forgive myself the lot. When such as I cast out remorse, so great a sweetness flows into the breast. We must laugh, we must sing, we're blessed by everything. Everything we look upon is blessed. The end. I found that really fascinating. And and it's inspired apparently by Psalm 42, in case you're into that. As we always do, we close with paragraph from How to Read a Poem, subtitled And Fall in Love with Poetry by Edward Hirsch. And if you remember, we've been, for the past
2 months.
2 months, we've been reading one paragraph of a specific poem. And we're down to the 3rd verse this time. Sometimes I see alone coffins under sail, embarking with the pale dread, with women that have dead hair, with bakers who are as white as angels, and pensive young girls married to notary publics. Caskets sailing up the vertical river of the dead, the river of dark purple, moving upstream with sails filled out by the sound of death, filled by the sound of death, which is silence. Well, this may be a way of countering the jest.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Michelle was
Yeah.
filling us with jests, and
Yes, and you had to go get this morbid
we're getting the
morbid
opposite.
coffin parade here.
Hey, I liked it.
Sure, there's a book of Poe back there.
That's
sure.
right,
I got complete works of Poe.
Yeah, me too.
Short
You got a
stories.
Complete works of Poe.
Of Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh yeah,
Short stories and poems.
everybody should have that.
They should.
Original
He's
Eagle
probably
Kid.
my favorite poem. Maybe second on. He would be my second favorite poet of all, I guess.
Who was your first favorite?
Emily Dickinson.
Emily
Oh, yeah.
Dickinson.
She's
Yeah,
awesome.
She was pretty good.
My cousin.
Another one of Doc's cousins there.
You got a lot of
He's got a lot of kinfolk in all over the world.
Yeah.
All over the